Today on Make America Gospel Again, I have an incredible patriot, Cameron Moore. This is somebody who's put his life, his reputation, and his money on the line to fight for our nation. I pray that his story inspires you to take radical faith, to take radical action in whatever area that God has for you, that you would be inspired by his journey and his story. Let's get into it. Cameron, first met at Mar-a-Lago. We followed each other on Instagram for a little bit, back and forth. I remember sending you a message. I seen you. I was like, man, does this guy live at Mar-a-Lago? Is that your second home right now?
No, I spent a lot of time there during the season. I enjoy being around the Patriots and anything I can do to help candidates and help get our country back. I'm all in.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. And you know what I kind of noticed about you too is you got, you had when you go to Mar-a-Lago, right? And I'm not going to talk bad about anybody, but there's a certain, your tie, it's like not you, but other people. It's a different demographic that is completely out of my, the realm that I live in. And what I noticed you is you were dressed to the nines, but you were cool, calm, collected. You just seem like just a cool person to be around. Not stuck up by any means. That's really what kind of attracted to me, to you in the first place. You just had incredible energy.
I appreciate that.
What I love about your story, and for what people don't know, is that Cameron, you are a true American patriot. As the CEO of an Inc. 500 fastest growing companies, you stepped down because you've seen the state of our nation, and to pursue fighting for our country and our nation's future. Now, I know that there was some drama with you being at the January 6th, where you were in your hotel room, and was it the FBI or the CIA who made this giant big deal out of nothing? Can you walk me through that story?
Yeah. I went to see President Trump speak at the lifts. Got there super early in the morning. Like everyone else did, it was freezing cold. He came on late, and I believe he probably came on late for a reason. Because no one would have really had time to get over to the Capitol. We're still a good 2 miles away. So by the time that the speech ended, things were getting a little heavy over there, and I just went back to my room and ordered a cheeseburger and watched whatever the media wanted to portray to us, right? And so, and then I didn't leave my room until the next day when I flew home. But I guess someone had saw a post that I was in D.C. and possibly turned me into the FBI, and then the FBI showed up at my house, my office, my vacation home. I was trying to get on a plane to Colorado to go do some skiing, and I wasn't able to board the plane because they held me for like 2 hours at TSA, and I was trying to avoid them talking to them. You should never talk to them unless you have an attorney present in today's environment. And finally, I went the second day to the airport, and I finally got through, but I was held, and I caught a TSA agent taking a picture of me, and so I decided not to get on the plane, and I left my snowboard and my bag, go to Aspen, and I called my attorney. He said, come to my office, and then we called the FBI, said, Cameron's here, we're ready to meet with you and get this all off our plates. And he said, no, the FBI said, no, he's on the plane, and we're going to be meeting him on the other side when he lands in Colorado. And then my attorney said, no, he didn't get on that plane. He's here with me. Yeah. So we worked it out. All they needed to do was check the room service bill and, and the hotel cameras, which they should have done in the first place, but they didn't. And but that's how they eventually let me go, was those two things right there. It was just silly. It's a waste of taxpayers' dollars. It was a waste of my money. It cost me $12,000 to get through all that. But my heart goes out to people that are, rotting in the DC gulag right now. What happened to me is nothing compared to what happened to a lot of these patriots that are out there just sitting and left for dead in these horrible conditions, And this is why we need to get President Trump in the office, because I believe he will probably pardon them all and make sure they're taken care of and let the good patriots out. I'm sure there's a couple bad ones that got in there, but for the most part, it's a pretty sad situation, and it's pretty sad to see where our country has gone.
Well, Susan, I think about our patriotic, our past, right? To where we were willing to, throw all this tea into the bay
Mhm.
because of a 2% tax, and like it's like where's like I don't want to be crude, but it's like where's everybody's balls gone? Like it's absolute insanity to me to where you can show up at a Capitol, peacefully protest,
Mhm.
and then you're going to go to jail for 10 to 12 years, and it's like people really have to wake up, and that's what I love about your story is that you actually did something about it.
Uh,
Now, didn't this affect kind of your business, this whole deal with the January 6th? Didn't that affect the business deal? Is that what led you to know, hey, it's my time, I've got to go fight for my country?
yes, I work in K-12 education. I formed my first company at 23 years old. I provide instructional classroom technology products in the K-12 schools. And I had a school district that messaged one of my sales reps and said, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to work with your company as your CEO was involved in the Capitol riot or stormed the Capitol or something crazy like that, which is wrong. I don't want to cost anyone in my company any money, especially my sales team. And so it's also probably illegal, because they have to buy the best product at the best price because they're using taxpayers' dollars. And we definitely had the best product at the best price. But at that point, I just decided to step down and get out of the way. And at the end of the day, I put someone in my place that was better than me in that position in the first place. So knowing that I couldn't take the company any further myself because my skill set wasn't there as a CEO. I'm kind of a sales guy, creative guy. So it's all good now. But I stepped away, and then I've been just helping others and started my charity kind of company to give back to people in need and help raise money.
No, it's been incredible, and you're kind of emerging as it's kind of it's a tight circle, but you're really kind of emerging as kind of the go-to guy for some of these fundraisers and stuff. What led you into that space? Was it just one day somebody's like, "Hey, Cameron, can do this?" Or how did you get into this sector?
That's a great question. It was probably when Trump first got elected. I kind of when I saw the attacks on him, because there's a lot of attacks on him. I was wondering why, and from there, I guess fast forward to how did I get to where I'm at now? I felt like God called me and put me in the right positions to help others. Could I divine an exact place? Probably not, but you know, I just started going to these conferences and these events, and just trying to educate myself more and listen to these speakers, learn more about why we're at where we're at in this country, and then just decided to do whatever I could to get involved. So as General Flynn says, local action is national impact, and we all need to be involved at whatever level we could possibly be involved at, our local communities, schools, whatever our strengths are. We got to capitalize on those and do what we can to get our country back.
Yeah, no, and you're doing it. You're putting your money where your mouth is too, to where it's like you're funding, some of these projects. I bought the Trump donor deck. I
Yeah,
loved it.
yeah,
I got it. I've got it set up in a nice. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I've got it set up in a really nice display.
yeah,
And my sons, I've got a 12-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And my 5 and 3-year-old are just obsessed with taking it and taking the coin out. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
hey, this is not something that you play with. So you did an incredible
yeah.
job on that. What it what are you working on right now? What are the big fundraisers and things that you're working on, and um how can people work with you?
Well, the donor deck is my project I started. Unfortunately, we got off to a kind of a rocky start with the company that I retained to help grow this thing. So we got back on track here, and the box itself is a deck of cards that's hand painted, and each of the face cards are linked to a relevant scripture. And it actually has the Bible verses, as you can see, on inside the deck, and has a commemorative coin where it's $45 bucks, and 100% of all the net proceeds go back to Make America Great Again Inc. and General Flynn's Fight Like a Flynn pack. And so we're hoping to make this turn here and really get these sales rolling and be able to all give back collectively. I see it as a group fundraising effort where everyone can jump in and donate their acquire this product, and then see that all the profit from it goes back to the fight to save the country. And where I don't make a penny on it, just try to facilitate raising money in a creative way. Which
I think it's incredible. It's an incredible product,
and
incredible. That's where your heart. And I mean,
yeah.
what led you? Let's kind of move in. This is Make America Gospel again. So let's talk about your faith a little bit. What role has your faith played in all of these decisions that you're making? How do you align? Or I guess how do you align doing something in the natural with what God wants you to do? Like, how are you merging those two worlds together?
Well, you essentially just I go to God in prayer and ask for guidance and wisdom where He wants to take me, and where I put it in His hands, and wherever it leads me, it leads me. But keeping God in the center is critical, to especially during these trying times. So. But my faith is very important. I also work with the Catholic for Catholics organization, where we had a really powerful event at Mar-a-Lago. I co-hosted with Jim Caviezel and Tim Ballard and General Flynn and Roger Stone. So it's great to be around a bunch of God-loving, fearing Christians, Catholics, patriots, and so. But you put God at the center of it, and he'll take you where He wants to lead you.
And it's not always too. It's like, what's crazy is like, I think about the psalm is, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. To where it's like there is this time, when you, and I mean, I've been going through my own life. It's like when you make this decision to be influential for God and you see everything as a spiritual warfare, it's like you find yourself in the battle. And the problem is that a lot of times the battle you can't see around you. It's not just people. The Bible says our fight's not against flesh, it's not against blood, but it's against principalities of power and might and dominion.
Yes.
Where there's this whole other world around us. So it's like not only being attacked in business, but in our mind and everything. I commend you for it, because you are taking on, you're taking on the gates of hell.
Yeah.
So I think it's incredible.
Yeah, Psalm 35 talks about that as well, and that's one of my go-tos. Where King David fell into these attacks, and he asked God to protect him and let the people out there trying to cause David harm, let them fall in the traps that they set for him, and about putting his faith back into God, and preaching it from the rooftops when his prayers were answered. So that's an important verse to me.
Yeah, no, I think that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
With the spiritual war aspect of everything going on, there's not a lot of people, or it's like a lot of people think it's right against left. You got Republican against Democrat, but as somebody like you and myself, is that we can see now, hey, there's a much bigger play. You're involved in the MAGA circle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of involved.
Mm-hmm.
From what you see of those involved in the MAGA circle. Do you feel like they see that as it's a spiritual warfare as well?
Anyone that's very involved, I'm sure, is feeling some kind of heat, pressure, spiritual attacks. I mean, it could come in any form, right? I mean, look what's happening to our great president right now. I mean, 34 felonies for not breaking any law, doing everything right. I mean, that's a spiritual attack against our president, against our country, against our Judeo-Christian values. And I think anyone that's definitely out there trying to make a difference is going to fall under some kind of attack, be it from people or from the devil himself. So I think everyone's out there feeling a little heat, and the closer we get to this finish line here, I think it's going to intensify. I don't know about you, Jake, but I mean, as we're moving closer to this finish line in this election, feels like the attacks are starting to heat up and intensify even more. So I think we just got to be focused and keep praying and keep our eyes on God, and keeping the moral high ground that we can in this MAGA movement.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% correct on that.
Mhm,
And, I feel like we are at the finish, getting close to the finish
mhm,
line. Things are heating up. And I kind of want to encourage people to, yes, the things that we are going through are tough, right? But as a Christian, we look back to the early church
mhm,
and the persecution that we faced. We are nowhere near close. I mean, I remember reading Fox's Book of Martyrs,
mhm,
and the early church members, for his punishment, they put him in a leather bag, they
mhm,
filled it with snakes, venomous snakes and scorpions, zipped it up, and threw it into the ocean. Like, that's the kind of punishment that these people went through, and to where I really believe right now it is the church's time to stand up. It is time for the people in the pulpit to stand up, because there's such a clear distinction between President Trump and Joe Biden or anything in the Democrat Party, right? You have these clear lines. You've got Israel,
mhm,
you've got the LGBTQ agenda for transitioning kids and all
mhm,
of these things, and then you have abortion.
mhm,
Right. If you think about it, if we are a Christian nation,
mhm.
in my opinion, you cannot call yourself a Christian if you vote for Joe Biden this year. I don't believe it's possible, because what you are voting for is you are voting for abortion. You're voting for harming children. Like, there's so many things that go against the word of God. You don't have to like Trump. I've
Yeah,
personally met him. I've stayed at his house. He's one of the greatest and kindest people that I've ever met, personally. So I don't care if you don't like him.
yeah,
But really what it comes down to is like, hey, that is just common sense, and common sense does not seem to be a very big thing nowadays.
mhm. No, this is much greater than even the president. I mean, it's evil. What's happening out there? And our kids getting indoctrinated in in schools and getting groomed. And this, if you look what President Trump's fighting for, with whether it's closing the Department of Education and giving it back to the states, or you know. Putting prayer back into school, or ending this gender affirming care. These are term limits, and
Yeah,
these are all things that are important, and a lot of these are moral value things that we need to vote with our hearts. I mean, this is affecting our children and our generations to come. So
that's it. And I'm praying that a few good men like yourself, myself, and all the other people that you're involved with, it is going to be enough. And it is. It really is. You look at all of the stories, of Israel being outnumbered. I'm not worried about the numbers that they, perceive to have, or the
yeah,
media.
yeah,
I see God as like looking on this nation is like, all right, is people going to stand up and fight? Or are they just going to be fat, happy, and
mhm,
content? While they can. For me, it's not. I'm not going to be that one. I'm not going to be that one to sit around fat and content and happy.
no, Jesus went to the temple and flipped over all the tables, right?
Yep.
If we're going to be Christ-like, we need to be able to stand up to and oppose the evil that's happening before our eyes. Like you said, the churches need to get involved as well. So we all need to be involved and do what we can during this time. So
That's it.
yeah,
Cameron, well, it's been amazing having you on. Where
yeah.
can where can people find your stuff?
Uh, well, we have my website is www.usheroes.us, and there we also have a place called the Give Back Marketplace. It's an online store of 1,000 products that I've actually created, where 100% of all profit goes back to the whatever mission it is. Right now, it's to support Tina Peters in her fight out there in Colorado. She's under massive attack, and so any purchase on that page goes 100% of profit goes back to Tina. If other people want to apply to use the marketplace to raise money, there's an application in there. We say I would like to use it for 2 weeks or a month, and any of the orders that come through, we give right back to the mission or the candidate. So you find me
Yeah,
there. That's
maybe we
US.
can throw the Make America Gospel Again caps on there.
I need to get some. Yeah, I need to buy. Yes, that's top of my list.
I'm gonna send you. Don't even worry about buying you. I'll send you some.
Well, I
And
appreciate everything you do for the country and you know raise awareness during this awakening time, what we call it right now that we're in. Everything you're doing is just amazing. I love following you.
I appreciate it, Cameron. Dude, you're a rock star. Keep it up. You're in my prayers. President Trump's in my prayers, and I think we're gonna win this thing.
We got it. God wins. We know that.
That's it, brother. All right, I'll holler at you later.
All right. Thanks.